Okay, first off the bat, on the live, I have to address this because we get a lot of comments about this. YouTube will not let us switch it to landscape or horizontal like this way. So we have to do it vertical. Now, if you're watching on a phone, it's better for you. If you're watching at home on your computer, I'm sorry. And if you're watching on your TV, I'm even more sorry. But we're kind of limited. We're trying to figure it out. We don't know why. I don't know if it's a mobile thing, but anyways. So today we are cleaning a car right here at this spot. And it's actually a car that's going to be going into our showroom. So it came in yesterday and it desperately needs to be cleaned. So I'm like, you know what? Let me do it on the live and we can just quickly wash and detail a car inside, because you'll see once we go outside, it is, what do you think, Chris? It's got to be 20-mile-an-hour winds right now and freezing, 39, high wind, just not suitable to wash your car outside in this kind of weather. I would even argue that you shouldn't even take it to like a pay and spray because the weather is so bad. So in that case, it's fine to bring it inside and do like a hoseless wash. I know we just did this a couple weeks ago, but you actually get to see the whole process in one thing. The other one I sort of compared hoseless wash, foam and wash, and waterless wash, and then showed how you can use them together. But in this case, I'll show you how we do the whole car and how we get the wheels and tires done, how we get the paint, the glass, everything. So I think today will be kind of interesting. Really just kind of watch me and follow along. And then when you have questions, ask them and then I'll answer them. But I probably won't be as much explaining the process because I've already done that multiple times. So let's go get the car, okay? You guys can come with me. We'll go get in the car. And by the way, Elon's going to be floating around too. Elon's got the Ronin running with the Canon R5, doing some behind the scenes, just hanging out. So if you also have questions for Elon, you guys can ask questions for Elon too. But we'll go get the car.
Want a question from Mark?
Yeah.
Often folks say that since leather comes with polyurethane layer, it doesn't require anything but a damp cloth to clean. I disagree completely and should clean and condition your leather. What do you think?
Yeah, I think, Mark, a lot of people argue that Dawn dish soap's the best soap for your car. So, I mean, it just, you know, I think as you learn more about stuff and you learn more about the power of different chemistries and the lubrication aspect and things like that, and the cleaning power of certain formulas, then you start understanding why a leather and interior cleaner is great for fake leather and all that stuff, you know? So, yeah, I mean, I think it's fine to argue it, but, you know, it's hard for me to answer that because Adams Polishes is built on processes and formulas that make people's detailing more efficient. So in that case, it's you know, our leather and interior cleaner is gonna cut through any nasty grime and everything on your fake leather seats, but also feeding moisture into that fake leather as well will keep them supple so they will like move, not dry out and panel and crack and then get ruined even more where you have to replace your seats. So listen, you don't have to do any of this, all right? But if you have pride and you want to do things the right way, you should do it, okay? So that's kind of my answer. Okay, McLaren time. Shout out to the Smurfs. I wonder if I can even fit in this car, to be honest. This is quite small. Okay, let's try, Chris. You can get into. Try to kick the snow off your feet a little bit. Oh my gosh, Elon. They just don't make them like they used to, huh? Can you fit, Chris?
Kinda.
Wow, this is incredible. I may not know how to start the car, but
Got some Lincoln Park going.
let's go. Here it is. Ooh, you feel that engine roar behind us even. I was trying to start it right here, and this is like the parking lights, I think. This is pretty cool. As you can see, the guy who drives a 2008 4Runner. I don't get in these cars a lot. Okay.
Jose Vargas says, I hear you, Joe. I wanted to see it until I sat in one.
Right?
As in, like, size.
Yeah, I know, they're tiny. Okay, Chris. Oh, here we go.
Today on Can Joe Drive a Car?
It's just one of, I'm not like oriented with it.
I'm only giving you a hard time because that would have been worse.
No, I love it. Chris, I think we should try to go faster, like quick, just in the parking lot. Hopefully we crash, you know?
Make it a short live.
Ooh, a little bit sideways. Okay.
Yeah, there's ice, Joe.
No, that's just concrete, brother. That's just getting sideways because this car is powerful, okay? All right. Lincoln Park. What a great band, huh? Okay.
Don't lie, they're not reggae, so you don't like them.
Well, I do like reggae, but parking brake on.
Stop.
No, not yet. Because I'm gonna open the door. Ready? Oh yeah. It ain't easy to get out of that car. Here's my favorite thing about supercars. You don't have to open the garage door very high. It's easier to get in. Okay, let's see if we can do this again. All right, perfect.
Mark Dressel said while we were in the car, turn off that camera and go do donuts. No sees, no proof.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm sure Mike Ward, the dealership, would not appreciate that. Shout out to Christian, by the way, at Mike Ward for bringing us these cars. He's the one who brought us to Aston Martin the last time, so it's pretty cool. Tiffany blue, McLaren. I mean, this thing is legit, but like, once you start getting closer to this, Chris, and see, you can see how ridiculously dirty this is. Clearly been driven, been out in the weather a little bit. You can see, so this isn't one of those, you know, I think this is a personal car for someone at the dealership, and so it gets driven a lot. So what we see right off the bat is that this thing is going to need a thorough wash. Which is good for us because then we can like see it, treat it in a way that requires a full wash. But again, the weather is so bad outside, I'm doing this all inside. So again, keep firing questions away. Mark, was that answer good enough for you as far as the talk on like just a damp cloth?
I think so.
Okay, so again, I was actually talking to Elon about this earlier, and I talked about this right when we came live, but I'm doing a combo of foam and wash, hoseless wash, waterless wash, and then we'll clean it all up after. So first things first, I'm going to take my hoseless wash, and if everyone remembers, I know I took some flack for this, but I don't always measure everything. And actually, because this car's like very noticeable loose dirt and grime, I'm actually going to use just like a touch more because I want the maximum power out of the hoseless wash. And actually, to be honest, this is the same hoseless wash bottle I used 2 weeks ago. So you can see, like, this is something, and to be honest, if this was like at my house or at a shop, this bucket would have just been pushed aside and covered. And then I could have just used this again, right? I wouldn't have to refill it with water and put hoseless wash in there. So actually your hoseless wash is gonna last you a lot longer. Now we take our towels. I like to mix this up a little bit. Now I have 3 double softs because that's all that was in our clean towel bin. Okay, and I have 3 single softs. These are the single softs here. I'm fine with the single softs. I do recommend the double softs more because they're a thicker towel. They hold more of the solution. But if all you have is single softs, that's fine too. No big deal. So I like to get these incorporated. I want as much of this slick hoseless wash solution incorporated into the towels. I have my grit guard next to it. That's where I put my dirty towels. And then
Your dad says the McLaren's cool, but nothing cooler than a 35 Ford.
exactly. Exactly. Our 35 Ford is very
Mark
good.
Dressel wants to know what the Smurfs connection is.
You know, I have no idea, but Christian, who brought us this car, he was telling us that that's kind of like a new trend where to like personalize your car to yourself, they're putting like custom wrap on the door jambs, like inside where the door is at. And it sort of shows like some kind of personality to it where, you know, I mean, there's not a lot of people that have Tiffany blue McLarens, let's be honest, right? But for other people that have more common colors, you know, how would you differentiate yours from somebody else's? You can throw a little wrap in there with like a custom image or whatever on it, and now it's very much your thing, you know? And then, look, if you want to get rid of it, you just take the wrap off and you're good to go. So,
Jose Vargas says, is there planning for a hoseless sponge? Like
Jose Vargas, yeah.
mitt to use for hoseless.
Surprising, Jose Vargas is on here. No, just kidding. Jose Vargas is on here every week with Mark Dressel and everybody else. So, you know what, Mr. Vargas? No, there is no plan for it. And actually, there's a reason for that. And I'll talk about that here in a second. You don't want to use, well, I'll just talk about it right now. We won't release a hoseless wash sponge because you don't want to take the like a wash medium or like a wash pad or sponge or whatever, use it as hoseless wash, put it back in the bucket and put it back onto the car. So what you'll notice as I use these towels is I never put the towels back into the bucket. I get as much dirt off of the car as possible and then I set them aside to be cleaned later, but I never put them back in the bucket. It's very much different than when you actually wash your car where you're using a sponge or a wash pad where you're using the power of the grit guard at the bottom of the bucket. But in that sense, you know, you have so much foam on your car, you know, you've rinsed the car already, so there's not as much of this loose dirt and grime on there. So it's just a little bit different. In this case, using hoseless wash and this stuff, you're using the towel to get the dirt off and then you're leaving it off and not into the bucket. So you'll notice that I'd say like while I'm doing this, just watch how I do. I'll explain it once I get to that point, but that's one major difference when you're doing a hoseless wash kind of thing. So I did 3 squeezes of foam and wash into our IK Foam Pro 2. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is just going to work sections at a time. This is different than doing a wash outside, right? So I don't necessarily need to go through and rinse the car off. I don't have that ability because I don't have a drain inside. And actually, before I do that, I need to pump this up. So I think I did 4.
Anton and Kyle want to know if Adam's going to be on the live today.
You know what? Adam was going to be on the live, and he's not now because he's helping somebody with a project in Colorado, but he doesn't have time to. I think he'll swing by today at some point, but he's not going to be on the live. And I know I said that last week, and I thought he was going to be, and I was going to meet up with him, but I ended up meeting up with him yesterday. And by the way, check this out. When I met up with him yesterday, I was helping him sort some bikes out from a friend. It's kind of a little bit of a sad story, but just so you guys can see. Oh my gosh, where is it? Here he is. So this was, we were in this shop and there are all these bikes hanging like that. And he was like up on this scissor lift getting all these bikes down. And essentially what he's doing is his really, really great friend Brian passed away. So it was just like very unexpected. And his buddy Brian has like had this huge collection of vintage Swin bikes. And so what Adam's doing, being Adam and very generous as a person, is he's writing a check for the value of all of those bikes to the widow. He's giving her all that money, and then he's going to take those and then try to break even. If he doesn't care, but he's more trying to help out the widow of his buddy that passed away. So I was like, yes, I will help you. Whatever you want, I will absolutely help you. So we were just taking bikes down. We were cataloging them, putting somewhat of a value to them. So he has a sense of like what he's going to do with that stuff. So he's busy with the widow of his friend now, dealing with the value and everything. So he might bring a couple of the bikes by the shop, but he's not. He's dealing with that thing, and I totally respect it. So, but we will be with him in 2 weeks. So Adam and myself will be on the live in 2 weeks because Elon, myself, the whole media team, Chris, we're all going to be out in Arizona for Barrett Jackson Week to shoot a instructional, educational video series. It's about 20 videos. We'll be doing behind the scenes on the Instagram all week. It's going to be really, really cool, and we're already planning it. I'm getting all the product ready and everything, so it's going to be awesome. So
We'll probably go live on Instagram a couple times too.
yeah, I think while we're there, probably go live a few times on Instagram, YouTube, whatever it is. So before I foam it, I forgot, I want to pre-treat with my waterless wash solution that I made from my hoseless wash. So I filled this up to about, I think I filled it up to about here. The rest hoseless wash, which makes sort of a waterless washing solution. So all the dirtiest parts, I'm going to adjust my sprayer so it's more of like a stream, like that. And in the dirtiest parts, you can even see like as I spray it, it starts to emulsify, okay? I'm gonna just pre-treat all the areas I see the dirtiest. And I mean, for the most part, I might as well just spray a lot of the car. And then where I do see the most dirt, I will just spray, like I'll spray extra. So like on this back lip / wing, I will spray a little bit extra. By the way, if you have a pump sprayer,
That's the time to use it.
it is definitely much better. I'll just say that. This bumper is like really filthy, even this grill. Woo!
It's looking good.
Dude, talk about a forearm workout. Dude, I'm gonna be looking like Popeye here. You guys probably don't even know who Popeye is.
Come on, dog.
Popeye the Sailor Man. I remember when I was a kid, they had a
There's
song.
black stuff on it.
That's what we call dirt there,
Oh,
Kai. That's Kai, by the way. Kai's the creative director at Adams Polishes. And any email you've ever gotten, he's the guy who designs it.
Yes, sir.
Super talented individual right there. He got that God-given talent, dude. He's the Michael Jordan of email design, photography, video, everything. Yeah, see? Exactly. Oh my gosh, this is awful.
How's those forearms? Dying?
Listen, my forearms are out of shape. Clearly, I don't do this enough, Chris. We're cramping up. Cramping up. Okay. Okay, that's good, I think. Now, let it do its work a little bit. It's actually crazy. You can see, when I spray, you can see like even where there's fingerprints and everything. So let the waterless wash do a little bit of its magic, and then now we're gonna go panel by panel and foam and wash and hoseless wash kind of all at the same time. So probably, usually like as I was going around spraying this, I was also making a plan of like, I know that this is the dirtiest part of the car. So here's the thing with hoseless wash, I don't need to save that for last because again, I'm not putting it in the bucket. So realistically, what I would do is just start probably the most convenient area. So I'll just start on the door. I have my foaming sprayer. So when I pull the trigger, it starts foaming the car. Okay.
Styling Biker says, hey guys, just started watching your YouTube lives, watching from Cape Cod.
Stylin' biker, I like that.
So we got
Dude.
Anton from the Philippines, we got
Dude,
Styling Biker from Cape Cod.
Styling Biker, by the way, if you want to comment your real name, I could address you by your name instead of saying Styling Biker every time. But
Or if you want to stay anonymous, you can just.
yeah. But anyways, thanks for joining, man. This is cool that you're on here.
He sends a wave emoji.
Oh, nice. Dude, Cape Cod's one of those places I want to visit so badly. It looks really cool. And by the way, Styling Biker, if you have detailing questions, do not hesitate to ask. Linda, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask us. And it doesn't even have to be related to the topic. It can be anything. Graphene coating, if you have life advice you need, we can do that too. I'm not certified, but I could give you my best answer. Okay, so what I like to do is just let it work for a second. And generally, like you can see right here, it's starting to fall off and it tends to pull a lot of the dirt with it, which is exactly what I want. But now what I'll do is I'll start with my foam and wash process, starting from the top and working my way down. So the hoseless wash, yeah, sorry. So hoseless wash, I'll just do the single stop first. So when I take my towel and I lift it out, it's gonna be dripping. So I grab it from the bottom like this, let it fall into my hand, squeeze my hand just enough to the point where the water's not fully dripping out. So now if I hold it, the water isn't just pouring out of the bottom of it. Now I take this, fold it twice. So fold it once, fold it a second time. So now I essentially have 8 panels to this towel. And now what I'm doing is I'm wiping and rolling my hand as I do the process. And I'm trying to take the dirt and grime from on the car mixed in with the foam and wash and waterless wash pre-treatment and getting it into this towel. So I will start here, wipe and roll. And you'll see it's gonna be really wet. It's gonna be very streaky. And I'm just gonna leave it like that. So keep going like this. Okay, see that? So you can see the foam gets incorporated here. And then you can also see it's a little bit dirty right here, but this panel isn't crazy saturated. A lot of the dirt's incorporated into the foam. So I can keep using this panel side. Like so. And every time I do this, I check, okay? Because I can see that underneath the foam we're still good, right? So we'll go here. Now I've actually been seeing a lot of detailers actually have started washing their car in the same way like this, where they're pre-treating, they're foaming, and then they're using microfiber towels to do this, which is actually a super cool, like unique way to wash your car. Go.
You mean just doing this process?
No, like instead of using a wash pad outside.
Oh, okay.
Almost doing kind of like a very similar thing. So I just flip the towel over because I'm getting down closer to the bottom here. Get this last section right here. Okay, so again, like this, it's really interesting. You can see kind of in here, and especially over here, but there's so much dirt inside this foam. The gravity pulled the foam off and put it to the ground. So like it's not crazy. Like the car was very noticeably dirty, but the mixture of waterless wash pre-treatment with the foam and wash foaming step is really eliminating a lot of the extra dirt that goes into my towel. So it's gonna allow my towels to go even longer. So in that case, what I'll do is now I'll just foam this section. Give it a few more pumps. Okay. We keep going. I guess technically I work for customer service right now because I'm getting their car ready for the showroom.
2 birds, 1 stone.
Yeah.
636 Tay says, what's the best product to use as a topper over Adam's Ceramic Coating Advanced out of graphene detail spray, CS3, and graphene boost?
That's a good question. So looking for a topper answer for a graphene ceramic coating advanced.
Yep.
Okay, so
Out of graphene detail spray, CS3, and
who asked that again?
636 Tay.
636 Tay. All right, 636 Tay. So I would say there's different situations for some of those products. Okay, so graphene CS3, graphene detail spray are less concentrated with the graphene protection. So the boosting, when I say graphene protection, I sort of mean like the boosting aspect of those products. Okay, because the whole purpose of putting a topper on is to help boost the hydrophobics to keep your graphene ceramic coating like beating water like crazy. Okay, so I would say like graphene detail spray and graphene CS3, you want to use more consistently. It's like something you use to wipe down your car real quick, but not when it's really dirty. Okay, and I would say if you do have a little bit of dirt on your car, the graphene CS3 is a better option because it has waterless washing power to it. Okay, it has more lubricity to it. The graphene detail spray is more of like if you want to shine it up, make it look good, but also boost the graphene ceramic coating on there as well. So when your car's not as dirty and you just want to give it a quick wipe down before you go to Cars and Coffee or a car show or date night, whatever it is, graphene detail spray. Now, every few months, like I'd say every 3 months, do the graphene boost process. Now, you don't necessarily have to do it if you consistently do graphene detail spray and graphene CS3, but if you don't do graphene detail spray or graphene CS3, you know, every month or every couple weeks, then about every 3 months, after you're done washing your car, you bring it inside, it's dry, go over it with graphene boost, and that is the most concentrated topper that's going to really enhance the hydrophobic properties. So they're all great products. It just, I think it depends on more. I think you have to ask yourself what your process is and how, you know, if you're somebody that doesn't, you know, you got the ceramic coating not to touch it as often, not touch your car as often, then probably the graphene boost is going to be better because, you know, you're not going to be wiping your car down consistently. But I'm sure there's a lot of people on this live video that they can't stand themselves without touching their car every week, you know, and in that case, more of the graphene detail spray and graphene CS3 is going to be the product for them because it's a little bit less concentrated, but still very effective as a topper. So hope that answers your question. Oh, there's so much dirt on this wing right here. Just do that. Flip her over. I think I got this already, but it's okay. Move over to here. Gosh, this foam and wash just like holds onto the dirt and the foam. It's amazing.
Kyle Shelby says I might have to come by the shop and see the car after it's cleaned and detailed.
Kyle, what are you waiting for, man? Just come right now. We're here, man. You could actually help me if you want. Okay. All right, a little bit of more foaming.
Is foam and wash similar to car shampoo when it comes to direct sunlight and water spotting?
Foam and wash. So yeah, I think in that case it is a little similar. Yeah, so somebody said, is foam and wash similar to car shampoo when it comes to direct sunlight and water spots? And the answer is yes. Foam and wash neutralizes the water, so it reduces the chance for water spotting. But I would say foam and wash, well, not. I was gonna say foam and wash is a little bit more suitable for an indoor type of detail, but it's not. You can still do it outside. So like as a mobile detailer, you know, you could very much be washing people's car literally like in their parking spot on the street by using foam and wash. So yeah, it's going to do very similar things to To prevent water spots, yeah. So that's a good question, actually. So, and that's also like for you guys watching right now, it's also why I'm not overreacting to like the water I had put on there from hoseless wash. I'm not worried because hoseless wash and foam wash neutralize the water. So having this foam dry on the surface to then come back after and wipe it all down, it's fine. I'm not going to get any water spots from it. There's this nice little lip in here I need to get to. Okay.
Bob says, is this car ceramic coated?
You know what, Bob? I have no idea. It just got brought to us yesterday. So, actually, I do know. It is ceramic coated, Bob. I just don't know when it was done because, and no big deal. I don't necessarily care, but when you look, Ceramic Pro put a sticker on there. So Ceramic Pro put their sticker on there, so you know that this thing has been touched, it's been coated. But my thing is, I don't know when it was done. So it's hard for me to judge on like, does it need to be recoated or anything? But I think realistically, what I would be doing is, as I clean this, seeing the water reaction, it's not like beating water like crazy. So I imagine it probably needs a re-up. That probably could have been done a long time ago. So I think eventually this car will be brought into the detail bay when there's not 100 shipments ready to be sent out. And it will be polished and ceramic coated.
Ulysses says, what is the best product and way to clean a commercial tire and rims? It's a school bus with steel painted.
Oh, wow, okay. School bus. You guys are coming with the real questions today.
If they're in Colorado, let's shoot a video on it.
Wait, let me ask first. Is it like a school bus to transport kids or is it a hippie bus? Just kidding. But, you know, honestly, I would say they're painted. Gosh, I'd probably say our wheel and tire cleaner would probably be the best. They're just a little bit more rugged steel wheels. So, yeah, just like our wheel and tire cleaner. But here's my thing, Ulysses. Wheel and tire cleaner in the 16-ounce bottle will last you one wheel on a school bus. You know, but wheel and tire cleaner pulls the brown out of the tires like a lot. And so what I would recommend, and I know this is not like, I'm not really talking about cost here, but if you could get a gallon of the wheel and tire cleaner and get like a thing like this, even the foaming sprayer, and then spray it onto the wheels, you know, you won't run out of product so fast in a 16-ounce bottle. You'll be able to go around each tire with either the foaming sprayer. We have one called the multi sprayer, the Multi Pro 2, I think. That actually just like sprays product, doesn't foam it. Those, I think that would be your best option, to be honest. And the only reason I say that too is probably the most efficient as well. It's going to be the fastest way to clean those wheels and tires. So I hope that is a good enough explanation.
Mark K says, I'm planning to go through the complete process. My garage is 53 degrees. Do I need to bring heat source? Or is that okay for using clay, prep, compound polish, ceramic spray coating, etc.?
Mark K?
Yep, 53 degree garage.
Is that Mark Kuzma? I'd be curious if it's Mark. Yeah.
Mark K.
No, I know that. I'd be curious if it's Mark Kuzma because Mark Kuzma is awesome. And he has a Dodge Viper that I love. But anyways, Mark K, you're getting ready to do the full process and you're in a garage that's 53 degrees and you're wondering if you need to bring like a heater to like warm up the space you're in. I'd probably say no. I mean, I think more, if I was going to recommend you getting a heater, it'd be to make you more comfortable. But I will say that if it is in that 53 degree range, the coating is going to need a little bit longer to cure because the warmer it is, the faster it will cure. And so in that case, I would be just planning on, like when you get into the coating step, if you can do it more, be finishing around afternoon time, like 12 o'clock, 1 or 2, and then letting it sit overnight. Like give it the full, like, you can go by. Give it kind of like a full, what would that even be? Gosh, you'd be getting into like the 16, 18 hour range, 16, 18 hour range of letting it cure till like the next morning, like 9 or 10 o'clock. Just letting it cure for an extra time as it sits is gonna be better for you. But listen, if you're gonna be more comfortable with it being 60 or 70 degrees, if you're more comfortable, you're gonna stay focused and keep working. If your hands keep getting cold and you keep getting cold, you're gonna end up taking more breaks. It's just gonna take you longer. So that would be my recommendation, is just like make sure that you are feeling comfortable while you do it. But also realize too that it's gonna be 53 degrees, but you're gonna be moving around. You're gonna be polishing, claying, ceramic coating, and what will happen is your body heat will rise and then you'll still feel pretty comfortable. So I like to do, I don't really have a choice because we do it all year round, but my favorite time to detail is when it's in the fall, because in the spring and summer, spring and winter, like in winter, you'll get a day where it's really nice. Like it will be like 50 degrees, but by the time the evening comes around, the temperature drops drastically. Whereas in the fall, it's my favorite because if it's like early fall, if it's 70 during the day, it's gonna be 60 during the evening. It's like the temperature doesn't change all that much. You just stay comfortable kind of throughout the day. And that's, I think that's also why, like in Southern California, everyone details, because it's perfect all the time, So yeah, just make sure you're comfortable is what I would say. My thing about all this stuff, this detailing stuff, man, is supposed to be enjoyable. As soon as it becomes more of a hassle, then it feels like a chore, then you don't want to do it. And I think a lot of you guys on the live, you guys love cleaning your cars, or else you wouldn't be watching this. So, you might be the kind of people that's like, whatever it takes, which I think is a great thing. But for some other people, it definitely is treated more as a chore, and the less resistance you have as far as weather, as far as process, the easier it is, the more inspired you're going to be to do it. So just keep that in mind. We might even go past that 2 o'clock mark, just 2 o'clock time. Usually we end around like 2 o'clock, but if you guys want to hang around for the whole time, feel free. I'm just going to be finishing up cleaning this guy.
Cody Baker says, I've been curious for a while, are there any products to avoid, and on the contrary, what are the most effective products to put in the IK foam sprayer?
Oh, okay, that's a good question. Are there any products to avoid when you go into the IK foam sprayer, or are there products that work better than others? Yeah, so I could tell you ones that work better than others. First off the bat, I would say tire and rubber cleaner is a really great product out of the foaming sprayer. It foams up like crazy, and it also like dwells on the surface like your tires and other areas that kind of like let it sit and work for a little bit longer. I would say like our wheel cleaner, just like standard wheel cleaner, the one that turns purple, that one don't put inside the foaming sprayer. The reason why is the wheel cleaner is already designed, it's more of a gel formula, and so with the gel formula, it's designed to come out of the sprayer and then stick to the surface. So it sits and dwells, and thioglycolate sits and works. That's why it like turns so purple. When you put it into this, it's too thick for it to really, it like spits out of here. It doesn't come out very even. And when I say even, I mean like, watch when I spray this foam. It just creates like a perfect fan. Like that's very even, right? Whereas like if I put the wheel cleaner in here, it would spit out of here and it wouldn't just be not a great experience. So wheel cleaner I try to avoid. I would say some other products that are good to use in there. Wheel and tire cleaner. I was just talking to Ulysses about cleaning bus wheels and tires. Wheel and tire cleaner works really good out of the IK Foam Pro 2 or the IK foaming sprayer. Foam and Wash, obviously, that's what I'm using right now, which is an awesome product. Eco All-Purpose Cleaner is another great product for the foaming sprayer if you need an all-purpose cleaner. I probably avoid like our standard all-purpose cleaner. It's just a pretty powerful product. I think that's more suited for the multi-sprayer, the non-foaming IK sprayer. But yeah, I think probably those products specifically, I think would probably be the best for that sprayer, because those are really, you're really using like cleaning type of products. So like, you know, tire and rubber cleaner, Eco All-Purpose cleaner, wheel and tire cleaner. So when you get into other products like say undercarriage spray or detail spray, it's like you don't want those to foam. You want those to be a super thin spray. You want them to be atomized and have a very thin spray, so they're easier to wipe away. So yeah, I mean, I would just say the ones I said that would work in there, use those ones, but not really any of the other ones. There might be a couple others, but I just say in my experience, the ones I rattled off there for a second are probably the best versions.
Wiley, Auto Detail says, can Adams get a sticker made up like that with one on the door tag that you showed?
You know, we've thought about it. I think more that sticker, that question would be more for like our pro line kind of people. I mean,
It sounds like that's, he said it would be nice for my business.
oh yeah, exactly.
Sounds like he's the...
Who said that again?
Wiley Auto Detail.
Wiley Auto Details. I'm bringing that to the team, all right? We'll try to make something like that. I do think that's like a cool idea, you know? But here's the thing, Wiley. I think it's cool, but I also am like, I'm just excited that people use our products, and I'm also just excited that people get their car ceramic coated. I don't care what company it is. Obviously, like I want Adams Polishes to be front of mind because that's why I have a job, but the fact that people are taking care of their car is the most important thing, you know? So, but yeah, I'm gonna bring that to the team and maybe we can get something put together, and you'll be the first guy. You'll be the first guy to hear about it and be like, hey you guys, Wiley Auto Details has this genius idea and we need to get stickers made so we can promote when cars have been ceramic coated by Adams Polishes. Okay, so I have most of the paint done, all right? Now what I'm gonna do is move on to the wheels. Now wheels are a little bit different because I'm not gonna use the wheel cleaning tools right now. And also, just so you guys notice, as I'm done with the towel, I'm just setting it right here on top of each other on the grit guard. I don't want to put it back into the bucket. I kind of talked about that earlier, but I don't want to contaminate my bucket with dirt and grime. I want to keep that as clean as possible. And just so you guys can see, I have about this much foam and wash left, okay? And I think I even overused it a little bit, to be honest. You can see I still have a lot of foam like on the car, which generally when I do this process, it looks more like this, where there's not as much foam. It's just kind of wet. Some areas I just used a little bit too much foam, which is fine though. And actually I'm feeling the car now. I was gonna try to see if it needed to be clayed, and it definitely doesn't. It's very smooth, so we're good on that front. But wheels, okay? So foam and wash. I'm just gonna spray the wheel down. And in this case, like if it was a decent day out, I would clean the wheels 100%. I wouldn't worry about cleaning these wheels is better, because if I have my angled wheel brush, I can get all the way in the back. But because this is going in the showroom and the way the weather is today, I'm not going to do that outside. I mean, the hose is frozen anyway, so it's like I can't do it. So instead, I'm just going to use foam and wash and hoseless wash. I'm really just going to focus on the spokes. I couldn't have picked a worse car because the spokes there's just so many. And actually, you know what I might do? Instead of doing that, I'm going to try it. Let me see if I can find something. Might be one over here. Elon, could you find me a spoke brush? Yeah, or honestly, like an angled wheel brush is fine. It's like acts as a spoke brush, you know? I'll just use this one. Okay. So I was just thinking, if I had a spoke brush, this might be a little bit easier. Could you bring me that Viper chair right there? So obviously, like, this one's new, but generally after you clean your wheels and tires, you clean your brushes out. You definitely want to clean them out every time, at least spray them out. But what I'm gonna do now is, like, after I foam it like this, okay, what I can do now is I'll just dip this in my hoseless wash solution. So now this is more acting like my thing. And now I know that after I just touch this wheel, I'm not putting it back in here. And actually, to be honest, I would personally, because I'm done. I'm done with cleaning the rest of the car. So you can, but if you do contaminate this with a dirty brush like this, then these towels, you can't save this for next time. So in that case, I'll probably just use this to clean the whole thing and then do a quick wipe down with my hoseless wash towel that I was using. But this is just doing a better job of getting into the nooks and crannies to clean.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Martin says the water in the bucket was it deionized water. Sorry, I joined the live video late.
No, you're good, Martin. Yeah, Martin asked, is the water inside of this bucket deionized water? And the answer is no, it's not. Because the reason why it's not is the hoseless wash neutralizes that water. So it's not technically deionized, but it's neutralized. So that means that the water in there is, essentially what's happening is the hoseless wash solution, the surfactants inside the hoseless wash solution are encapsulating the minerals that are inside the water, and they stay like that. They won't dry on the surface because it's encapsulated by the surfactants in the hoseless wash. So yeah, I'm not too worried about it.
Bob Dunlop wants to know what's the difference between waterless wash and foam wash.
What's the difference between waterless wash and foam and wash? Waterless wash is a product that is a spray and wipe type of product that I'd say it's like similar to detail spray, but it has more lubricity. So it's more for when a car is mildly dirty, you can essentially wash the car by spraying it and wiping it down. Okay, now there's specific towels that are meant to be paired with waterless wash, which are the waterless wash waffle weave towels. And those help lift the dirt off the car. So waterless wash is to clean cars by spraying and wiping. Foam and wash is a different product where you dilute it into a foaming sprayer, like I have here, the IK Foam Pro 2. And when you dilute it in there and you pull the trigger, it foams it like it foamed it onto this car. And that essentially creates a super highly lubricated surface that dwells on the surface, okay? Because sometimes when here's the thing with waterless wash. If you're doing it in a warm day and you spray it on the car, it dries pretty quick because it's such a thin spray. It atomizes out of the sprayer and dries pretty quick. So you kind of lose some of the lubricity off the bat unless you're working in small areas. So foam and wash is I think foam and wash is a little bit more deep cleaning. So if you have very much noticeable dirt on the surface, then foam and wash is more your friend. Hope that answers it decent. Gosh, I gotta get this caliper looking better because that's probably the first thing I would notice. Is you get like the face of the wheels are all clean and this McLaren logo looks all sexy, and then you're like, boom, dirty calipers. You're like, man, that's a lazy detailer, whoever did that.
Especially since this is going in the showroom.
Exactly. Yeah, this is our showroom car for everyone who kind of joined later, but we're just getting this prep to go into the showroom. And yeah, I actually have a spigot right here. I'm just going to rinse this angled wheel brush off. If you don't have a spigot like in your garage or near you, then what you can do is you could take it like into your like utility sink, rinse it off while you do this process, bring it back out, and then probably what I'll do is I'm gonna spray the foam and wash on there, foam the brush a little bit, so I just continue to have lubricity while I'm cleaning these wheels.
Ken Wilson says, Joe, do you ever come to the Anaheim store at all?
You know what, Ken? I have been there, but I haven't been there recently. I really want to get out there. And I'm sure if you're asking me about that, that means you go there. And just, I'm sure you know that Anthony and everybody there that works there is amazing. So I just want to come out and hang out with them. Last time I was there, I got to admit, it was a wonderful trip. We went there to do this live event for Amazon, and we stayed right near Balboa Pier in Newport Beach, and it was just like one of the best places. Everyone was sleeping, and I got up early. I rode to the jetty, to the North Jetty in Newport Beach, to the wedge, and I watched the skimboarders rip the waves on the wedge, and it was like, I grew up skimboarding, so it was really fun to watch. But
I was definitely asleep for that.
Chris was done for it. Here's the thing, none of these guys, listen, you guys, none of these guys here have kids, all right? I have kids, so I have to wake up early. I have responsibilities, all right?
Hey,
Let me just get on my soapbox for 5 minutes.
Irresponsible.
No, Chris, I'm not. I do have to say, I woke up to a great morning because my favorite golf podcast released a video that they did with Tiger Woods. It's like one of my favorite videos I've ever watched, probably. It's so good. Foreplay Podcast. Those guys are amazing, and their video with Tiger Woods is just astonishing. I can't believe that Tiger Woods did what he did. It was so cool. Not that I'll have any reach to those guys whatsoever, but if anybody on here is from Barstool Sports, let them know that I'm like in love with those guys. They're so good. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm doing a quick little brush of the angled wheel brush to really get in. I'm more trying to get inside of these areas, right? It's harder with the towel in my hand. The angled wheel brush gets into that a little bit better, and then I just go back over it with the hoseless wash in the single soft towel here. And it's just really cleaning them really good. But again, I'm not getting into the barrels of the wheel. So eventually this car needs to be pulled outside and the wheels need to be fully cleaned, because what's going to happen is we're going to dry this thing up. It's going to look amazing. And then right here, there'll just be brake dust, and it's just going to be a total bummer. But it's just not realistic for me to try to shove my hand back there. And also, I mean, what I could do is take the angled wheel brush, but this is like not doing anything to the brake dust that's back there. So I can do this, but it almost looks like I'm like smearing it around and it's not doing much. And all I'm doing is contaminating this brush. So the next time I go to the next wheel, I'm just gonna move dirt and grime around. So if you really wanted to get in the barrel, you could do this, but make sure that you then go and rinse this out, in.
Anton says, Joe, I have 5 courses near me within 10 minutes.
Do you really, Anton? 5 courses near Anton. Well, here's the problem, Anton. I would come out there to show you detailing stuff, and we would never get anything done because we would golf the whole time. So I'm okay with that.
Still impressed that he wakes up at 4 to watch this.
Yeah, honestly, I'm honored that you do that, Anton. It's so cool to me that we have friends like you in other countries that are here hanging out with us on the live. So, You know, I really appreciate it. It's very humbling, to be honest. I'm like, why the heck would anybody want to watch me do this? But we'll have an audience, so we'll keep doing it as long as we have an audience, I guess. I'm curious, while I do this stuff, what's everyone here working on? And like, what's the weather like where you guys are at? Is it, you know, are you guys in winter right now like we are in Colorado, or are some of you in, like, what's the weather like where you're at, Anton? I'm curious. You know, if it's wash season, if it's rainy season.
Cody Baker says, I have to get the handicap down heading to Scotland this summer.
No way. Cody Baker, huh? Going to Scotland. Okay, Cody, are you playing the old course? Because take pictures and send them to me so I could be jealous. But, dude, that's cool, man. Going to Scotland, that's going to be a fun trip. We had some friends that just went to Scotland. They said it was amazing. They really liked it there.
Anton says it's 28 to 34 degrees Celsius year-round here.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to have Elon translate that into dumb math.
Yeah, because I think it's like, you take that, double it,
28
divide it by
32
9, and then add
Celsius.
100 or something like that.
It's something weird, yeah.
I went to Canada last year, and that was like, everyone's like, oh, it's easy. You just do this. I'm like, listen, I'm just going to look at my phone every time.
I've seen the nice weather. That's 82.
82 year-round where Anton is.
I forgot. In Celsius, 82. 28 Celsius is 82 Fahrenheit. You flip them.
Oh, really?
What?
Is that always?
No, that's the only point in
Oh, really?
where that happens. But
28?
yeah, at 28 C, you just flip them around and it's 82 Fahrenheit.
Dang, dude. Anton is in that good weather. So Anton just,
It was meant to be.
oops, I almost put that in there. That was lucky. Almost put that.
Nathan, high of 40, low in the 30s. Have to work in the garage a bit. Bob Dunlap, Colonial Beach, Virginia, 50 and windy.
Ooh.
Styland Biker, who, Linda?
Yep.
Yeah, Linda.
In Cape Cod?
Cape Cod had a few inches of snow on Monday, 20 degrees.
Oh, wow.
Cooper,
Yeah, so-
45 degrees and rainy.
Dang, so it's like winter for people.
Yeah. Logan, Utah, it's 28 and we're supposed to get 6 inches of snow this week.
Wasn't there a big cold front going on?
Yeah. Dude, it's supposed to be like 0 this weekend and like minus 12 at
On
night.
Monday, yeah.
I don't know. It seems like a good day not to come here.
Yeah. Dude, that's a work from home day.
Okay, so a couple more things. And actually, now that I'm done cleaning the wheels, and actually there's some extra dirt right here. Still going to have to go over and wipe them down, but I'll just take this towel and put it here again. And look, when I'm done with these towels, what I can do is then just like throw them in my wash, towel and powder vitalizer, clean them, and then I can use these again for this process. So I'm not worried about this part of it. They're just dirty now. But now what I'm going to do is grab this is a edgeless utility towel, so more of a scrubbing towel. So it's microfiber, but woven. So when you scrub things, it doesn't lint. And what I'll do is take my tire and rubber cleaner, okay? Because I don't know if there's old tire dressing on here or what. So what I like to do is I'll take the towel, fold it once, like this, fold it twice, and then the same direction I fold it again, so I have sort of a rectangle type. And what actually happens is it's the same sort of like width of my fingers here. So now what I can do is spray the tire and rubber cleaner into the towel like this. And now I can just take this and scrub the tire and remove any orange or old tire dressing. So the fact that I can scrub this and it doesn't get screwed up, it doesn't lint, that now I can remove the old tire dressing or the browning of the tire. And realistically what I do is I would probably clean to here, and then when I get ready to finish, I'll just move the car forward so that bottom part of the wheel moves up to here, and then I'll scrub that off. But once it gets super saturated with nasty brown, then you just switch the sides like this, and then keep going.
Nathan's coming in with the conversion here. Apparently Celsius times 9 divided by 5 plus 32 is Fahrenheit.
That's it, I told you guys.
Yep.
But I said like double it divided by 9 plus 100, but I was wrong. Nathan's got it, dude. Nathan's got the right one.
Celsius times 9 fifths plus 32
Yeah,
I can totally do that in my house.
I definitely cannot.
Absolutely.
Listen, there's a reason why I clean cars. It's not because I'm good at math.
Yeah, that's the reason why I make videos.
The only math I'm good at is understanding how much faster over the speed limit I'm going. That's it.
I'm good with shapes.
You're good with shapes?
I'm good with shapes.
Like a
Triangle
parallelogram?
of twos.
Dude, just we're digging more of a hole, you guys. We should stop while we're ahead, you know?
How many sides does the dodecahedron have? No, it's 82.
No, that's 82 in Fahrenheit. Okay.
Nathan's coming in here for the bad mental mathers. You can shorten that if you want to just estimate just double the Celsius plus 30, and that'll get you close.
It's a little approximate.
Yeah.
Because it's not legit. That's just approximate. Dude.
Yeah.
Listen, when you're...
Nathan says, sorry, math nerd here. No, we appreciate it.
No, I love that, yeah.
Because we are not math nerds.
By the way, Nathan, can you come caddy for me in golf so we can...
Joe can actually shoot.
You know, it's funny. I was at an indoor, well, I go to this indoor golf place called Optimum Golf in Thornton. It's my favorite place. And my buddy Jake works there. And so when you're in Colorado, you're at a higher altitude, so the ball goes further. And it goes 9% further than when you're at sea level. So we went and played a course in LA on the simulator at sea level. And it was like every shot, I'm like, hey, can you tell me what the 9% is? Because I just can't figure it out.
Nathan says he'll be here in mid-March.
Will you?
Yep.
Nathan, are you going to come by the shop?
He better.
Dude, that would be so cool.
If he brings his vehicle, we'll do a live on it. I keep getting my phone out. I'm like, just don't.
So everybody that's on the live here, I have a quick question. Would you guys be interested, since a lot of people are in more winter style weather, like 40s and 30s and stuff, would you guys be interested in me showing you how to clean your car at a pay and spray? Like that's how we wash our cars in the winter, because like if I go outside right now, the thing is frozen. Like I can't use it. And oftentimes you turn your water off. So you go to a pay and spray where they have a boiler and it's hot water while you use it. If you're interested in that, I'll do that next week, because I think it's kind of a unique way to think about it. But if you guys are interested, I'll for sure do that. Okay. I can't believe how much brown's coming off these tires.
They like the band spray idea.
Yeah, okay. We'll do that next week. We will do the paint spray thing next week. I think that's... Well, I will say this. I will do it next week if it's reasonable. Like if it... with the weather...
If it's minus 10.
Yeah, if it's... There's a certain... At a certain point, you wash or you don't. But if it's possible to do it, I absolutely will.
Wiley Auto Detail says yes, because I'd love to send the video to my clients for maintenance stream.
Dude, Wiley, I'm telling you, man.
Wiley's like, watch this video so you don't scratch it as badly, so I don't have to do as much work.
No, Wiley, what you tell him is you say, listen, with great ceramic coatings comes great responsibility, and if you're not going to wash your car, let me do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And charge them $100 and convert your customer to charging them for a ceramic coating, and then make them a annual customer or a monthly customer that you clean their car every month.
Yeah,
What's up, Raul?
subscription.
That's Raul. He runs the floor here at the warehouse. He's amazing. The only thing that's wrong with him is he's a Dodgers fan. And Laker fan. So one thing about tire and rubber cleaner is it just makes it so jet black. Like that looks really good, right? Like I can feel it. I'm down to the bare rubber here, And if I rub this against my hands, I don't have any brown or yellow coming off of my hands. It's all, I already took it off with the towel. So doing this, I know this seems kind of weird, but what I want to do is get this back to jet black and remove any old tire dressings or anything like that. So now when I get ready to dress these tires again, they're going to look a lot better, but it's also going to adhere better. So it's going to last a lot longer. And probably what I'll do, because I have some, you can see like some of the foam and the water's on the ground. I don't want to dress them now and run the risk of getting water onto the tires. So what I'll do is I'm going to wipe the car down next. So we'll get this thing looking shiny and dialed. And then once I get the car into the showroom, then we dress the tires once it's in place. And actually what I'll do is when we back it in, I'm not going to do that on camera, but when you go to back it in, you do it 3 feet before you actually put it in its final spot. So you dress the tires and then you back up that extra 3 feet and it puts this bottom section that you can't dress to the top. And then you just finish dressing the top and now you're done. Okay, so tire and rubber cleaner, I'm done with that. Now, I also have a couple more edgeless utility towels. So now I'm in the process of wiping the car down and even everything out. I don't know if you can see it, Chris, but a lot of residue from foam and wash and hoses wash is still on the car. And just for reference, so what I want to do is I want to get the glass dialed first. And I know that detail spray is not going to streak, and this towel is my favorite on glass. So I always start with the glass first. So I don't need a lot of product. What I do need is just a couple sprays. So it's like this, 1, 2 sprays like that, okay? Now I take my edgeless utility towel, long, fast swipes. And the glass is perfect, okay? So all of these surfaces of glass, I'm gonna use the edgeless utility towel with the detail spray to get those dialed. And then what I can do is I'll try slick and slide on the paint, and depending on how it reacts, depends on if I'm gonna use it or not. So we'll talk about that here in one minute. But just remember, don't overuse your detail spray. You don't wanna, like I just did 3 sprays for the whole back of this. Less is more with the detail spray for sure.
Your dad says next Wednesday the forecast consultant is 44 or 41 for the high.
There we go.
So.
I'm gonna hold that to you, Pop. You're like the weatherman now. What if you get it wrong?
I mean, it's a weather forecast in Colorado, so it's going to be wrong.
Gotta flip this towel over because this is getting too... There we go. So I don't know if you guys saw that, but
Yep.
as I washed this, or as I was wiping this down with the detail spray, I wiped like this, and there was a big streak of detail spray, and it wasn't going away. That means my towel had too much product on that side, which means that if I wipe it, it doesn't go away very quick. It's going to dry and be streaky on the surface. Okay, so just be conscious of that while you do this process. Is if you have too much, and I think what was happening is that there was foam and wash and hoses wash in the creases over there. That's what got my towel too saturated. So. And I might do it here in a second, but what I would recommend too, before you start wiping the car down, is if you have one of the small, like mini air cannons, like the handheld one, you could just go through and blow out the cracks and crevices first before you start wiping the car down. Honestly, I forgot to do it. That looks good. Foam and wash and hoses wash just does such a good job. I gotta switch my towel. This is too wet. There we go. Now when I wipe, it goes away. Before, when my product's loaded with detail spray and foam and wash and all this stuff, the product wasn't going away. So then it dries, looks streaky, nasty, and then I look like an amateur detailer that doesn't care about the car, and I don't want that, that's for sure. Okay, so glass is done. Still have this portion, which is still glass, so I might as well just hit that right now. And one thing that's cool about this is remember, the hoseless wash and the foam and wash have very high lubrication to it. So kind of what I'm doing a little bit is I'm taking detail spray, sort of rehydrating the solution that's still on the car. So when I wipe, my towel isn't dragging super hard. It's actually evening it out, making it look great without too much effort. You know, if you put too much effort into it and you scrub or you rub harder, now you run the risk of scratching the car, and you definitely don't want to do that. So
Linda says, what would you recommend to use when you get sap on the car if I park it under a pine tree?
Sap on the car under a pine tree, which is like pine trees just absolutely sap everything. You know, Linda, I would kind of say it just depends on the severity of it. Like, the reason why I say that is sometimes, you know, the car has been sitting there for a long time, so the sap has really dried, like it's not fresh. If it's fresh, you can actually use something like tire and rubber cleaner and it like melts it away. If this isn't working, if you don't catch it early enough, we sell a product called TAR, Adams Tar. The TAR stands for tar and adhesive remover, but it works for sap really well. It's like a strong solvent that will remove that. And also a clay bar. Like if those don't work, a mechanical clay bar. And sometimes you have to get a little more aggressive with like a medium grade clay bar, in which you probably will be looking at polishing it after. But yeah, start with tire and rubber cleaner and like spray it onto a plush towel, like a single soft towel, because you don't want to spray it onto something like this and put it straight on your paint. You can even spray it directly onto the car. Tire and rubber cleaner is very safe on the paint of your car, whereas all-purpose cleaner is a little bit stronger, a little bit different formula. So you can spray it directly on the car, but I usually spray it on the car, spray a little bit in the towel, and then just the weight of my hand, go over it a little bit, and it starts to kind of melt it away. And it's more of like how many times you go over it, not how hard you push. So let the formula of tire and rubber cleaner do its thing. Same concept when you're using the TAR or the tar, same idea. I just need to grab a couple plush towels really quick, Chris. I just got incredibly thirsty. It's like, I don't think so. I think I have some Pellegrino, but okay, so I'm gonna put this on top. I just grabbed some borderless gray towels for the wipe down. Now what I'm gonna do is I have our super limited slick and slide. And actually, check this out really quick. Yeah, this is when they screwed up the formula and it was orange mango instead of the standard. They ordered it the wrong way and they gave us a tote of orange mango slick and slide, and it actually smells really good. But it was like, this is the only run of it we'll ever do. And to be honest, a bunch of people were like, you guys should keep it like that because it smells so good. But what I wanted you to see is, before I start wiping this down, there's some dirt right in here, okay? It could be from when I was wiping and some of the foam got encapsulated with the dirt and then got on here. I'm just gonna take the waterless wash solution I have, spray it onto here, and then I'll take like one of the clean sides of the hoseless wash towel I was using, and I'll just take it and I'll just wipe it off like that. So in the instance when you have sitting dirt like that, it's better off to take the necessary process like that to get the heavy dirt off before you start spraying and wiping. So now what I'm going to do is slick and slide. So again, less is more with this. So spray, 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 spray. And now it's just a matter of wiping it down with the plush towel.
Linda says I use a tiny bit of alcohol on a tissue and I worry it will affect the paint. I wash the spot after with a wet towel.
I mean, I think that's okay. That works. But I will say, like, tire and rubber cleaner it's like legitimately like melts it away. So listen, if the alcohol thing works for you, you should keep doing that. You know, but I think generally I answer those questions based on like a product that Adams Polishes has. But that works too. So, but yeah, I think more of my point is like when you get into the scrubbing aspect of it, that's when you start scratching cars and then you're working against yourself. Then you create more work for yourself later. So that's where I would just be careful, you know. I think this is looking pretty good with slick and slide, to be honest. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah.
It's more when I get into like the where it's like really wet in the creases, it starts to streak a little bit. But probably just keep going with this. So what I tend to do is I work in the areas that are most visible first. Okay, so and I would say have multiple towels when you do this because your towel is going to get wet because there's just still sitting water in certain areas. But this part should be kind of the easier part. You know, you're kind of in like a final wipe. And again, the solution you have on the car is lubrication. So, you know, you're kind of using that to your advantage a little bit to, you know, you're using the lubrication of the leftover foam and wash, hoseless wash to rehydrate it with slick and slide or detail spray. And then I'm using kind of the weight of my hand. I'm not scrubbing, I'm not pushing down super hard.
Can you repeat what towel you're using?
I'm using the borderless gray plush towel. I'll hold it up here in 1 second. So my towel's starting to get really saturated with the product and everything that's on the car. So I'm going to switch towels here in 1 second. So when I say overloaded, this is what happens. It streaks. Can you see that?
A little bit.
It's kind of like right here. You catch it in the right light.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, I don't want that on the car when we put it in the showroom, you know? So I'll just set this up here. But I'm using this towel. It's called a borderless gray plush towel. So it's very similar to our single soft towel. It just does not have a border on it. Okay. This is definitely like, I'd say it's very much a fan favorite towel. You know, I do like it. It's sort of my everything plush towel, you know. I use the single soft a lot for polishing, removing ceramic coating. I usually just grab these when I'm doing like a quick wipe down. I do like to use a single soft towel though for like if I'm on location, whether it's like a car show or something, I use a single soft towel because it really can show the dirt in my towel. Whereas this gray kind of hides that, and I want to be able to see if my towel gets really dirty. But in this case, I know the car is already like super clean from the hoseless wash and everything. And so I just grabbed the borderless gray because I can just use this to wipe it down and it works amazing. All right, I'm almost done wiping the, well, a little bit more. I've never been so thirsty, Chris. Any more questions? How far past are we, Chris?
225.
2 hours and 25 minutes?
It's 225.
Oh, I see. Okay, so we're just like 30 minutes over than normal. I'm okay with that. I mean, realistically, this is about all I'm going to be doing the rest of the time is just getting everything wiped down, and I'll finish this really quick and then we can wrap it up.
Anton says pina coladas here.
Anton, come on. Virgin for me, dude. I don't drink, but I definitely will have a virgin pina colada. You know what I want, Anton, to be honest? Especially right now because I'm so thirsty. I want some coconut water straight out of the coconut. That's what I want right now. That just sounds really good. That looks pretty good. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah.
Feels nice and slick. You know, I wonder why.
Almost like you're gonna slide over.
Almost like, I mean, yeah. Almost like my towel can make it slick and my hand can slide.
Linda says my Jeep Grand Cherokee still has its original chrome trim. I have never blackened it. Any suggestions on cleaning the chrome?
Cleaning the chrome. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Linda, a good quick little polish on that. You know, if you have like a 12 millimeter polisher, you can just shine it up with some, like you could either take like compound or polish, even metal polish, 1 or 2 works. You could do that by hand. Just put it in an applicator and go over it. At least 20 swipes is like the magic number on that. But once you kind of get it cleared up, because it will oxidize a little bit, you'll clear it up, make it a little bit more shiny. And then what I recommend is putting, if you put Brilliant Glaze over the chrome, it makes it shine like crazy. So Brilliant Glaze is a good enhancement, but realistically, if it's more of a daily driver type of car, then I would recommend ceramic coating it with like the spray coating. So a little bit of compound polish or even metal polish number 2. But all 3 of those work really good. Just depends on how aggressive you need to be. So that would be my recommendation. But here's the thing, when chrome gets stained, when chrome gets scratched like crazy, if it's not just like swirl marks on the surface, then that's a tough one. It's like you need to like get it re-chrome plated kind of thing. So just have a realistic expectation of it. But yeah, that would be like my best answer for that.
Eric says, could I put the hoseless wash or rinseless wash in an IK multi-pro tube to spray on the car? Not sure if that was helpful.
Oh yeah. Wait, sorry, who said that?
Eric,
Eric said, repeat the question, Chris.
Eric said, could I put hoseless wash or rinseless wash in an IK multi-pro tube to spray onto the car?
Oh, that's a good question. So hoseless wash or rinseless wash into a multi-sprayer, like an IK multi-sprayer, which is the non-foaming sprayer that they offer and we offer. The answer is yes. And realistically, Eric, it's more of like you're diluting it to turn it into a waterless wash solution. But as far as using it as a traditional rinseless wash, like the Gary Dean wash method, then no. You want to utilize hoseless wash or rinseless wash for its intended purpose in the bucket, like I did over there. And the whole purpose of a rinseless wash or hoseless wash is to reduce the amount of water you're using. So think about how much water I use today, right? I filled the bucket up to about 4 gallons, and then I filled up my pump sprayer, which is about, what is that, Chris? 35 ounces maybe? So I used what? Maybe, I used under 5 gallons of water, right? When you use a pressure washer at 2 gallons per minute, you use about 40 gallons of water. So I'm 8 times less doing a hoseless wash on this car than if I actually washed it outside. So just think about it in that sense. And the rinseless wash was created by this guy named Gary Dean. It was called the Gary Dean wash method. And he developed that process where you put this highly lubrication solution into a bucket of water, and then you put towels in it, and then you use the towels, and then you just discard the towels when they get too dirty to keep going. And so with that, what you can do now, like my bucket over here, because I'm pretty much done. Or where did I wonder if Elon moved it. Did you move that bucket, Elon? Oh no, it's right there. My gosh, do you see? I'm losing my mind as I get older. Okay, so I have my foam washer, still a little bit left in here, but you can see how much, I have about 3.5 gallons of water left in here, and I have 4 fresh towels, and the solution is uncontaminated. So what I would do is I would put a cover on this. Okay, I would cover this up. We have like a seat bucket lid that I would cover it with, and I would just set it in the corner in my house because I don't want to keep it near a garage because it could potentially freeze. I want the water to stay kind of lukewarm. So then the next time I need to clean the car in this method, I just take the same bucket, take it out, do the same process, and by then I'd have about 2 gallons of water. Next time I come out, put more towels in it, keep going. So it's a way to preserve or to reduce your water usage. And it was mainly developed for California, where they were going to start having water restrictions, where it's like you can't use 5 gallons of water to wash your car. You can't even use 5 gallons of water to water your grass, you know, because guess what? They didn't have any water. they had no water. So that was the main reason why it was developed. And again, reducing your water usage is great, but the thing that turns out is that it can be very convenient for a place like in the winter where you can't go outside and wash. So I can come in here in our shop and get this McLaren all dialed and perfect before I go take it into the showroom, and not one person in that showroom will know if I washed it outside or if I washed it in the detail bay with a hoseless wash method, you know? So it's kind of cool. I mean, it was the hoseless wash or Gary Dean wash method was developed out of necessity for water usage reduction, but it was adopted by people in different areas for convenience and the ability to actually wash your car. So like someone like Linda in Cape Cod, you know, she could get hoseless wash. She can fill her bucket up in her sink in her house. Now she can go out and she can fully wash her car in her garage. And she doesn't have to worry about going outside and doing all this stuff, right? Like in winter months, you don't want to do that. So it's just kind of a unique way. And that's partially why, I mean, I wasn't here today to feature this product to like make you fall in love with it. I just, out of my own necessity, I had to clean this car for the showroom like this because I don't have the ability to do it outside today. It's too cold, it's too windy, and it would destroy my hands, number one, and Chris would get really cold. So I'm not going to do that to Chris, you know, but I hope today was an interesting, you know, well, there you go. I'm done pretty much. I mean, the only thing I need to do is I'll go around it one more time just to check on certain things to make sure there aren't any streaks and stuff. But as you can see, I mean, I think it turned out pretty good as far as getting it clean and looking nice. The tire and rubber cleaner on the tires really made that look really good. And the jet black tires now make the silver wheels stand out a little bit more now that they're shiny as well. But really the only thing I have left to do is finish wiping down some of it, back it into the showroom, dress the tires, and we're done. So, you know, if anything, I hope you guys were excited to see like a cool car like this, but also, you know, understand, you know, again, seeing the hoseless wash and foam and wash process on a whole vehicle versus just like a section, which is what we did last time. So, and I mean, realistically, if I wasn't talking and I was like actually focused, I probably could have got this done in an hour, you know, so it's not a lot of time. It's about similar to if you washed your car outside. It's just a different process. So listen, if you guys have more questions about it and you want to learn more about hoseless wash, obviously like going to our YouTube and watching the videos is probably your best resource, but you can always email me if you want a deeper dive. It's just joe@adamspolishes.com. So, you know, I'll answer any questions you have. And, you know, Linda, anybody else, if you guys have other questions aside from the topic we did today, you know, I'd be willing to answer anyone's questions. So again, I know some people, even Mark Dressel's reached out to me on my email, but you guys can email me and I'll answer your questions as best as I can. But thank you guys for watching today. Next week, how to wash your car at a pay and spray self-serve car wash. I think that'll be a cool one, and mainly it's targeted to doing it like in the winter, you know. So so I'll catch you guys next week at the car wash. Thank you for watching, and I hope hoseless wash works out for you. Thanks.